Hello, viewer. Welcome to my studio space. I'm going to tell you a little story. I went to England. I went to Scotland for a while, and I got robbed on a bus. Um, and then I had no money. I had no cash. I still had my passport, so I was able to get money delivered to me from my mother in the United States. So very grateful. But I wasn't able to get it immediately, and my plan was to go to London. And I went to London on a train without any money, and I was just enjoying life. But I was kind of in trouble, and these Irish guys ended up kind of saving me for that night. At least I could have gotten in additional trouble, but I didn't because they let me in. So I was wandering the streets of London. I entered this place. I hung out with them, and they showed me incredible hospitality. And here's the story. It's called Some Luck. Some Luck from the Irish. My news of poorly planned travels created laughter at the lunacy my story unraveled. An aspiring harper, singer, and poet, walking London alone. My wallet was stolen, as was my phone. "Then sing us a song," they yelled through their KFC. "Yeah, let's see," curiously phrased and chomping with glee. "No way," said I. "Well, maybe later." "Oh, fuck, a poem then. You said you were a poet." Then I considered these men. Okay. Here is Birthday Wishes for Sean, and I recited the piece. As I did, the banter silenced, and crunching ceased. After the poem, they smiled, content where they sat. "We should drink," Joey said, "to something like that." Frank surprise gifted me 20 quid. I was stunned by his kindness at the poem for his kid. They might have been joking, but I figured why not. Pulling single malt scotch from my bag. Who's up for shots? I poured myself a double and the rest in Frank's cup. The clerk, Moosey, joined in the banter and mirth. Their stories were questionable, but full of worth. Freddie got fingered, the chief ever frisky, and Frank, well, he was drunk long before the whiskey. His Irish tongue impossible to get, I kept asking what? In a bit of a fret. He clasped his fingers to his nose and spoke like a nasally Texan, and only when he did that could I understand him. They were curious about the woman, assuming she was my childhood sweetie. Our plans failed, I explained quite weakly. "Is she some hoe?" They asked slang I never used nor heard. "No," I sighed, "just an old friend who I'd share a drink and a word." To this they were miffed and surprised me another way. They negotiated with Moosey a way I could stay. Frank enjoyed dealing shit, so I dealt it back proud. You couldn't tell the difference between your ass and a hole in the ground. Laughter was joined by warning. They were boxers, punchers, 6 total, and maybe drunk. If they wanted, I'd be royally fucked. "A statement like that'll get you beaten." One started to clap. "Get you down, then. Whap, whap, whap." With each whap he clapped. Suddenly the sentiment seemed dangerous and grossly offensive. Frank's head slowly shaking at my most excellent diss. I switched to the defensive and said something like this. "I've got almost no cash in my pocket, so don't bash in my head. I can manage pain, but can't afford a hospital bed." Frank regarded my state of affairs. He proceeded in Irish, removing my fears. "Say anything you like, and no physical violence. There's no need to be frightened." Now relaxed, I said, "Huh? I don't get your words." Then he cupped his nose and mocked in dread. "I'm from America, and she's from America too. I don't know what to do." I replied in mock Irish, "Like a leprechaun at the end of a rainbow, or Santa, or an Easter bonny with a basket and bow." Then maybe it was James who took over to say, "Because he's a fatty." Oh shit, I'm dead today. So for a second time that night I feared for my life, but to his credit and word there was no strife. Frank headed to bed despite Freddie's pleas to stay. When I offered a song, though, his decision was swayed. I sang for this small crowd, and doing so shook in terror. Moosey knew I was afraid, which actually appeased me. Freddie, Joey, and James's faces quietly eased me. Sean said, "Try out for X Factor," which certainly pleased me. Frank frankly stated, "Don't get his hopes up, Andrew. Don't get his hopes up, lads. Andrew, that was awful, terrible, bad." Sean made eye contact with me to disagree with his dad. Frank interrupted and berated while nodding. "It took major balls to do it, but your singing's utter shit." I countered back with some reflexive wit. "You can sing better?" And he bellowed, "Of course I can." I glared through his specs. "Let's hear it then." He looked back, not one to back down. "You got a karaoke machine." I smiled like a maniacal clown. "Oh, you need music to sing." I felt evil, derisive, even mad. He arose, erected, powerful, glad. He roared the eye of the tiger, strong, energetic, driven, and rad. Frank finally slept, and I could too. In the morning, we had breakfast as a chummy crew. The banter they dished had me heckled on a whole new level. By doing so, befriended a man lost in his travels. In appreciation of the help provided by them, this poem is for all the good Irishmen.